Everybody, we are here today celebrating National Coloring Book Day. Did you know there was such a day? I did not, and I think that's pretty cool. So National Coloring Book Day is August 2nd, and basically it's the purpose of it is for us to get out our coloring books, just spend a day coloring, and no pressure, no judgment, no rules, just playing around in our coloring book. So I wanted to do a kind of a flip through, I guess, or a rundown of my current coloring books. You know, you just can't have one. It's like a Lay's potato chip. You can't have one. You have to have several for every mood of coloring. So here's where I am. So first let's kind of go through the ones that I have, and then we might play around a little bit and see if we can do some coloring today. So my latest books, well, how do I want to do this? These are, and they're not all my latest books. Three or four of them are, but anyways, we'll go through them. This is one of my newest books, Urban Anna coloring book, Enchanting Shop Fronts from Around the World. So I got this at Joann's, and Joann's is no longer, but I'm sure you can find this online. Andrews and McNeil Publishing. And here's what I think is so cool about this. First off, it's little bitty and it's tedious. But second off, it's kind of like it gives you a cheat sheet. So every page, and I've kind of started on this. Let's see here. Let's see the one I've started on. It is little coloring and it is tedious. And I wanted to, where is it at? There it is. I want to color with my colored pencils in this. And so, you know, it's tedious. But I think it's pretty cool because oftentimes, you know, even though on Canvas we have the whole white blank page freak out, we can do that in coloring books too. At least I do. It's like, oh my gosh, what color am I going to color this? This book is pretty cool because first off, it's really cute storefronts, but the corresponding page kind of gives you a guide to go by. If you had any questions as to, you know, what color, you don't have to. Of course, there's no rules. But, you know, if you had any question as to, well, what color should these be? Are these grapes or is these leaves? Or, you know, and this kind of gives you a guide. So I just fell in love with this book. I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And then as I got started on it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so tiny and tedious. And, you really can't tell. It looks like I've just done the blue on this, but I've done the windows, the blacks and the grays and all that. All that was white, and so I've colored all that in and done a little bit of shading and all that. And the bricks, I've done all that. So I've done a lot on this page, but it doesn't really look like it because all you see is the blue. But it was all, you know, just plain black and white. I had to color in the bricks and all that good stuff. So I've only started on one page of this, and it is a little overwhelming because it is so tedious. But I think it would be fun if you didn't really want to go with the shading and you really weren't stressed about that, you could use the fine tip markers on it, and all that would be great. So anyways, I thought this was fun. I'm enjoying it so far. It is a little tedious, and so it's kind of one of those, my eyes have to be right, and I have to be in the mood to just do some little tedious work. I love that one. That's so pretty. So anyways, there's that one. Urban Anna coloring book. 45 whimsical shop fronts to color in. So there's that I'm working on. I also picked up this at Joann's, Create Your Own Flower Tarot Deck, a complete tarot deck to color. I don't know who it's. Sarah Hunaidi Palmer, maybe. I thought this was really cool because first off, it kind of goes into the tarot cards, a little bit about them, a little bit of spreads, things like that. And then Major Arcana. So again, this is telling you, giving you a guide as to what to color and all that good stuff. Then it goes into the cards, and they're punch out cards. I've punched this one out and colored it already. So they're punch out cards, and it's the whole set. You can color your own set. I've only done one because here's my downfall to this. This is like a slicky paper. It's slicky shiny. And so I've done this one, but I used my markers with it, and it is, I'm being real tedious with the details and all that. And where is it at? Yeah, so I'm trying to be true to the cards here, but I'm not liking the slickiness of it. So it's not for, probably, I mean, colored pencils probably would work okay, but it needs like a bleed-free marker. So I kind of got frustrated with that because it is it's such slicky. And so you can see the shine on it, and it's kind of both on both. So, so I haven't really done anything else with this because I feel like there's a different way to tackle it. This was published in 2022 by Sirius Publishing. So, but I think it'll be fun. I gotta decide if I want to tear out all the cards and have a stack and just work through them, or if I want to do them, you know, piece by piece, page by page kind of thing. I haven't decided 100%. So that's in the works. So far, so good. Those were both from Joann's. Again, no longer, but I'm sure you can find them online. I picked this one up at Ollie's. Now, let me tell you, if you have an Ollie's near you, don't sleep on it. They have fabulous books and coloring books and all that, so don't sleep on it. I picked this one up, the Goblin Core. I've played around with a little bit in it. I said I just recently got it. Let's see which one I've done in here. I'm playing around with markers. I haven't decided. When I get a new coloring book, it's like, am I going to be realistic with this, or am I going to be just whatever I want to do with this? Am I going to use colored pencils, or am I going to use markers, or am I just going to have it be whatever? And I think this Goblin Core is going to be whatever. There's some markers, or some fine tip pens, markers. This is colored pencil, my little frog guy. I've completed the frog. I just need to put his clothes on and his mushroom hat. But that's colored pencil. I do better with shading and all that with colored pencil. I think that's kind of obvious. I don't have the fancy markers to do the overlay and the colors and all that. So anyways, this one is fairly recent. So as you see, I don't have a lot going on with it, but Goblin Core. There's a whole bunch of these, like Witch Core and Goblin Core and Forest Core and all that. There's a whole bunch in this series. And what's cool about it is the back sides have an image on them, so you don't have to worry about bleed through if you're using markers. So that's that one. This one I've had forever and a day, and I still work on it. And I feel like it's one of those things that's like, oh, I'm almost done with this. But then when I sit down and look at it, it's like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not. But I've had this, I swear, since 2016, 2017. So I've had it for a while. This one, I'm just doing random, I'm doing markers in it. It's the story of the Jungle Book. Based on the original story by Rudyard Kipling. And it, you know, it kind of goes through the whole story. But some pages I haven't even touched. And some I've just played around a little bit. And see, when I start looking at it, it's like, I'm not anywhere near being done with this. Some I've played around halfway. Some, you know, it's just one of those, this one's a mindless, I'm not trying to be true to color or anything like that. True to life or anything. But again, when you're flipping through it, you're like, oh my gosh, you haven't done anything in that book. But I swear I have. I've done some things. I feel like I have. There are lots of patterns, a lot of repetition. It's a fun book because it has the story of the Jungle Book. I know there's a page in here I finished. I know there is. See? I finished that page. But this one, like I said, I'm doing all in markers. And some of it's tedious if you see the little details on this deer. I finished this page. It's nice and simple. Almost finished that page. Almost finished these 2 pages. I finished this page. This is probably my favorite of all of them because I've sat down one day and I like completely finished this whole page. So you can see I've been working on this little by little. I'm just doing markers in it. The pages are really thick, and so I'm not getting any bleed through or anything like that. So it's been fun to work in. But then again, there's pages that it's like, what? How am I going to color the moon? What am I going to do with the black sky? You know, are the? I think I get in my head too much about it. Is the grass green at night? I mean, so. But this one's a fun one. Like I said, it's an older book. I've had it for a while. But like I said, it's cool because it goes through the story of the Jungle Book. This one's almost done. Got a lot going on with it. Still, there's a bunch of pages that haven't even been touched. So, this was by Silver Dolphin Books. Doesn't have a date on it, but anyways, I thought this was fun because, again, it's going through the story of the Jungle Book. So, I've been playing around in it, obviously. Still got a lot to go. This one is by far my favorite. I've been working in this for, you know what? A good idea when you're working in coloring books is to write the dates that you started, because that would be pretty helpful right now. I started on this maybe 2 years ago. Maybe. I don't know. It's by Thunder Bay Press. It's kind of worn. My pages are starting to tear out. But this goes through the tarot deck, the Major Arcana. It doesn't cover, let's see, it's copyright 2021. So yeah, I've had it for a couple of years. Talks a little bit about tarot, but then it goes into the Major Arcana cards and a little bit about them on the opposite side. This book, I'm using markers and I'm trying to be true to color, which is why it's taken me a little while, because I don't know what flowers these are and I don't know what, you know, I can kind of read off to the side and tells me a little bit about what this picture is talking about. So I can pick up, you know, what colors I'm looking for and all that. But this one, this book, I'm being very true to the natural color of things. So there's a lot of pages that are not done because I just haven't gotten to figuring out what flowers these are, what crystal I want this to be, you know, that kind of thing. I've done a lot of the black work, the wording and all that. I've done a lot of that. This one is probably my favorite, and the background, the side ground is pomegranates, and I think these are pretty true to color. And so I'm frozen because I don't want to mess her up, because I love the outside so much. I think it's so pretty. But I'll get there. I'll get there. Again, you can see I've done the black work. More of the black work. This one's another one of my favorite. It's the Cardinals. That, you know, that I've colored them true to color. And I'm kind of frozen on coloring him in because I don't want to mess him up because I like the background and the side of it so much. I only done the black work here. I don't know that I've completely finished a page in this. Mainly because, again, it's true to color, and so I've done a lot. Most all of them have the black work done. And I don't know if you can see, like, the details, like, they're true to form. Like this crow or raven, he's not black. He's gray with black bits in him. I just love this book so much. I'm having so much fun with it because I'm really trying to be true to form and try to color everything realistically, which with markers is not always that easy. And then I get kind of stumped in this. It's like, okay, I've got a lot of yellow going on with the sunflowers and the sun, but this is wheat and that's also yellow. And so is this just going to be like a really yellow page? Again, I'm really having fun with this. Oh, I have done completely the King of Coins. I've colored this bull in and his background and all that, so. I love the, I see, like I said, I'm loving the leaves and the flowers and all that around the sides of them, and then I freeze when I get to the center. The center point. And this one's quite the opposite. I've got the birds all done, true to color with the grays and the whites and the yellows, but I'm stumped on the mushrooms. It's like, are all mushrooms brown? Surely they're not, you know. So I've got a few more mushrooms to color here. I haven't decided what color I want my dragon to be because he takes up a lot of the page, so I've touched every page. I've done, you know, like every page had the wording was whited out like that. So I've done a lot of the, like I said, the black work on a lot of them. I don't think I've done anything on this page. Yeah, I haven't done anything on this page. I haven't done anything on this page. Again, a lot of dragons, so I got to figure out what color dragons are. I've done my octopus around the side. I really like it, but I can't decide. I think this is an orca. So I've got to figure out, it's going to be a lot of blacks and grays and all that. So there you have it. This one is the Tarot Coloring by Alexis E. Thompson. Again, I'm really loving this book. I'm being very particular about it. Trying to be with my shading and my true to color with markers, which is kind of tricky. But you can see I've got quite a bit done. I just still got to work in this one, and this one is time consuming because I'm doing a little bit of research. It's like, what color is this flower supposed to be, and what color is this, you know, critter supposed to be? So, but I'm enjoying it. I love it. Yeah. Another color of the tarot. This one I picked up at, I think I picked this one up at Joann's as well. You know, Joann's closed down and they were having a going out of business sale, and so I picked up a handful of coloring books and things like that, activity books and all. I think this was one of them. This one I'm not being so particular in, as you can see. This one has some of the cards in it, but it also has some randomness in it. So I'm not being very particular. I am using markers. But I'm kind of doing this one like the Jungle Book, just kind of like, oh, I have a yellow marker. What all needs to be yellow throughout here? You know, I have a green. What kind of color green? I haven't really done a lot in this because I get to playing around here. It's like, ooh, I need to work in my tarot book. And I go back to my tarot coloring book, my other tarot coloring book. This one will be fun though. I mean, it's nice, it's neat. Got a lot of big images to just play around with, and you know, a lot of basic backgrounds that I can do any color with. So that, you know, again, it's fairly new, so I'm still playing around with it. It's by Igloo Books, copyright 2021, Color the Tarot. So this one's I'm not being as picky and particular about it as the other one is. Then last but not least, this one I just picked up recently at Ollie's. Again, don't sleep on Ollie's. They got some cool books and some cool coloring books, activity books, things of that nature. This one I've seen floating around the internet, books kind of like this. It's Creative Coloring in Reverse. We give you the colors, you draw the lines. So it's a reverse coloring book. It's basically images of fun, pretty colors, and you go in and draw the lines. Some of them are kind of obvious, but others are very, you know, what do you see in this? Kind of, this one's very obvious as well to me. So maybe we have a little bit of time. Maybe we'll play around with this one. I've not done anything in this because I just picked this up this last week. So let me just give you a little bit of, it's by Chartwell Books. Look into the swirls of color on the page. What do you see? A bouquet of flowers, an evergreen forest, a spinning contemplative mandala. When you color in reverse, the images you create are up to you. Coloring in reverse makes you feel free. I don't know about that. It puts a little bit of pressure. You've got a colorful canvas for your wildest artistic impulses. You're not just responding to the lines on the paper, you're creating them. It's an empowering way to express yourself. Pick up Creative Coloring in Reverse during a break from work or anytime you just need a few moments of creative me time. Every page is a new chance to design, imagine, and play. Your lines impose a beautiful order on the splashes of color of each page. What will you color in reverse today? I think we're going to play in this one. And I was looking for a black pen. So I think, just given that, I'm feeling like this is more of a doodling book. Because we're not going to be coloring anything in, because it's already colored in. So we are going to basically doodle. Let me find a good pen. My other bag of pens are on the, we'll work with this one, are on in the living room on the end table. First I'm seeing that this pen is not very bold. So maybe I want to find a bolder pen. Let's see what we can find. Oh, I have all my little pens here. Oh, we'll go bold with this. Let's see about this one. I'm seeing leaves. And then I'm seeing like a dotted little center. But I'm also seeing it swirly. And I'm seeing a very jagged line of a flower. And that's all I'm really seeing right now. Maybe we can see another leaf up here. I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, do we have to fill in all of them? I don't know. Let's try another one. I knew this was going to kind of be a little, I keep seeing flowers. So maybe let's try to find something that's not a flower. See, I see flowers there too. This, I see an ocean. Like an ocean in the skyline. But, I mean, what do you put there? So this may be harder than it looks. I think it's a shift of mind frame. Well, that is very obvious. I think it's a shift of mind frame of what... Yeah, see, I'm seeing a lot of... I'm seeing a lot of flowers. I'm not seeing flowers here. I'm seeing a woman here. But I don't know. I don't know where to go from there. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, so a little tricky. And maybe we don't have to see something specific. Maybe we can just see the circles. Maybe that's the trick, is to set what you see aside. And work with what's there, basically. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about this coloring in reverse? It's not as easy as it looks. That's for sure. Or maybe it's just my brain doesn't function that way. But it's certainly a different way of tackling coloring. To me, coloring is an escape. it's a way to be creative, but not, I say no rules, and then I just showed you all of my all my coloring books that have all these rules in them. But that's why I have a handful of them, because it's like, do I feel being real tedious today? Do I feel just picking colors and being random? You know, what do I feel like today? What, you know, what sparks me? And I have plenty of coloring books to make that happen. So, do you have coloring books? How many coloring books do you have? How often do you color in them? Is it a daily practice? Is it whenever you feel like it? Is it a weekly thing? Do you have all these rules like I have in mine? You know, what's your coloring book practice? Do you have a favorite coloring book? Do you have one that you bought with high hopes and has not been that? I do. The tarot, the flower deck, I had high hopes for it, but once I realized that the that should be there actually. Once I realized that the paper is real shiny and slick, it's like, oh, that's not very fun at all. But I do have a favorite one, and it's the tarot one that I'm doing, being very particular on. I'm really loving it. But I don't color in it all the time, because sometimes I don't feel like following the rules and being so particular. So sometimes it says it's not the right book for me. So coloring books, coloring. I do feel it's a great self-care activity. I do feel that even though you may not realize it, when you're coloring, you're meditating. So it's a meditative practice, which is always a good thing. It can be stress-free. I'm not gonna say it always is, because sometimes I be stressing. I be stressing about what color to color this, and what exactly is this square thing. And sometimes coloring books are a little tricky. It's like, what is this little box? Is it a part of something, or what is it? So that can be a little stressing, but for the most part, it's very freeing and when I want to be creative, but I don't want to be all up in it, if that makes any sense. I can pile my coloring book. Most of my coloring books stay at my end table in my living room, and along with my markers and some colored pencils and all that. And I can just pile up on the couch and color while I'm watching TV or whatever. I can be very relaxed with it. So that's always fun. Coloring in a coloring book. Adults, we feel like we have to have, the latest, as I just showed you, of adult coloring books. But there is no rule that says you cannot go to the Walmart or the dollar store or wherever and go be the kid again and go pick up a box of the 64. I know we all coveted the big box of crayons when we were growing up, the 64 count, I think, with the sharpener in the back. There's no rule that says you can't do that today. Those are not for kids only. Go buy you a box of 64 colors, crayons, with the sharpener. And while you're in that area, look at the coloring books for kids. Nothing says you have to have an adult coloring book. Find you a coloring book with for kids, with My Little Pony, or I don't know, Bluey, or whoever the latest cartoon character is nowadays. And find you a coloring book that you relate to, and take your 64 pack of crayons and color. And you don't have to stay in the lines. You don't have to make a masterpiece. Nothing like that. Just be a kid again and color. And I think that's kind of the point of this day, is to just play around, just color a little bit. Again, no rules, no pressure, no judgment. I highly encourage it. I highly encourage everybody to have a stack of coloring books. Again, I'm a mood colorer, as I'm a mood reader. And so sometimes I'm not in the mood to try to figure this out and draw doodles. Sometimes I'm in the mood just to randomly color and pick a random color and go through. Sometimes I'm in the mood to be very particular and be very disciplined about how I color. And sometimes I'm going to just randomly color until I feel like this book is done. I don't know why I'm hung up on completing this book, but eventually one day I will. Although when I look through it again, there's not very many pages that are finished, but there are some, so I'm still working on it. Sometimes we want to just play around and test out color pencils and markers and explore the different mediums that we have. And so why not do it in a fun themed coloring book? Sometimes we want to do an activity with our coloring and create something else. You know, when this is all completed, I should have a deck of cards. And sometimes we learn that slicky stuff is not the best to color with. Sometimes we need guidance, and sometimes we need to be very meticulous and spend a little bit of time doing some little bitty things, and along with some guidance to help us. So again, there's a huge variety of coloring books out there. These are just a handful of, I have some more up on my shelf, but these are the ones that I'm currently actively working in, depending on my mood. So nothing says you only have to have one. Nothing says you have to complete one before you can move to another. Nothing says you have to have one for markers and one for colored pencils and one for crayons. There's no rules. So just, if you don't have a coloring book, I think you should find one. Whether it's a kid's book, whether it's a detailed colored pencil, meticulous one, whether it's weird and random and reverse. I just think it's a hobby for everyone. Male, female, black, white, red, blue, you name it. I think everybody should have at least one, if not 7, coloring books. So anyways, thanks for joining me as I spent some time in my coloring books. Happy National Coloring Book Day to you. And tell me below, what are some of your favorite coloring books? What are some of your favorite things to use? Markers, colored pencils, crayons? Have you completed a coloring book? I have completed a coloring book. It's a little bitty one. It's a pocket coloring book. I can't for the life of me find it. I know it's around here somewhere, but it's a little bitty, like 5x7, and it's coloring to de-stress or something like that. Mindful coloring or something like that. And I used it. I kept it in my purse in my pocket, and I colored on it for the several years that my dad was in the hospital. And so we would sit in the hospital and I would just color. So it's around here somewhere. So I have completed one, but it's a little bitty one. One of these days I'll complete these. So anyways, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.